Previously, the group of you have been investigating the events surrounding the death of Elander Goldworthy, the son of Leofric and Maud Goldworthy, the tailor and clothier owners and operators of the Now You Die tailors in Elderthorn. He had been seemingly cut open, organs intact, and left to wander, holding them in before he finally succumbed to the injuries for an untold amount of time. His body was found by a local boy who had ran to get the Blackburn watch, but ultimately brought them back too late to prevent Lander's expiration. The funeral pyre was had. Grief-stricken, the family started to try to move past it, or come to terms with it as best they could. At this point, the group of you had returned, and there were accusations levied against you, some of which it seemed like were coming from the Blackburn Watch themselves, although Lieutenant Arvier has tried to make it clear that he didn't suspect you, but he needed to put on a show of suspecting you. As a group with you, Dunnan, an outsider to the area, might be rife to suspicion, potentially. The accusations were levied, you gave a rational explanation for your absence, and they were dropped in the attempt to try to put rumors to bed. You spoke with the Goldworthies the following day, and found a secret compartment inside Lander's chambers. The master suite apartments above the tailor and clothier store that his parents and him had been getting ready for what would be, or should have been, happily married life once he and his betrothed, the mayor's daughter, Nara, had finally tied the knot. Nara had been sick, at this point, close to 10 months, since last late summer, early fall. And he spent a great number of days in the interim time visiting, reading stories, and sharing and building a relationship with her. The group of you remembered in time that you were expected to return to Blackburn Keep for a dinner. During this dinner, discussion of the Bat, the arcanist of Blackburn Watch, was brought up. The fact that her chambers were a mess, to put it lightly. And inside a large chest there was soil and a decomposed body, skeletal in its remains, that the group has been told has been identified as Arcanist Batiana Magmaspine. Dead. But the timeline doesn't seem to match up. She had been seen more recently, such that the rate of decomposition in the chest doesn't make sense with the last known sighting of her. During this dinner, Mayor Tadell brought up something that she was chagrined to speak of during the wake, the night prior. That many times during Lander's visits to her home to visit Nara, he did not stay there. With Rowan T-Dance, the physician, Nara's attending physician, helping to try to guide his selection, he was venturing into the Pinwood, searching for rare herbs that might have some type of ability to aid Nara's condition. Any straw that might be grasped at, he was attempting to. Sounds like it. She feels terribly that she never told his parents that he was doing something so dangerous, but it's a matter of personal pride to take care of the person that he cared about. How could she rob him of that? The dinner continued until someone rushed in, one of the members of Blackburn Watch that was on patrol, alerting the group of you to a fire burning on the northeastern edge of Elderthorn. You all rushed, things falling from the plates, food spilling everywhere, grapes scattering the floor, to the location of the fire. Turns out the mayor slipped on some of the grapes that some of you had dropped, which you're not sure if they know that it was you, but no big deal. As you all stood around the burning remains of Aeolus's home, you found footprints leading. Some of you started to rush off quickly, while Hellerest tried to salvage anything that she might be able to from the home at Aeolus's instruction of location of specific things. The rest of the group of you rushed off, following the footprints. Following Aeolus, who was following the footprints. They cut between two farmers' fields along a track, and you lost them as you started to pass some of the early trunks of the pinwood. And it was here that you saw emblazoned on one of the trunks a carving, a removal of wood in the shape of a sigil unfamiliar to the group of you. The only time you've seen anything similar to it was upon the parchment that Lander had stowed away in the secret compartment within his home. And this is where we're picking up. So, as we're standing here on the edge of the pinwood, what are your thoughts?
Is this sigil the one, the one?
Is this new?
We don't know. It might be one of the ones.
I definitely need to get up my book. Thank you, Helen.
Hellerast would like to cast augury.
Okay.
To ask if this is a clue we should be following, or if it is a dead end. Is that something augury?
Go ahead and drop augury into the chat. So I believe, if I recall the spell correctly, so it is. The question is it a good idea to follow something, or is it a bad idea to follow something? You need to phrase it as, is this a good idea or a bad idea?
Okay. In within the context of finding out what's happening with all of this stuff, is this a good idea? I'm not worried about health, whether or not any of us are going to die. Just, is this going to be is this a good clue?
Okay. And you're wondering about the sigil, because you do see about 20 feet away another sigil on another tree trunk.
Okay.
Into the pinwood.
Right. Do we follow the sigils? Weal or woe?
Do these sigils resemble the notes we found in Landers?
Those got burnt up.
Hilarious. I just want to make sure I'm getting this correctly. So, your augury is going to be, would following the sigils help us understand what is going on?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so you begin working on casting that.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Dunn.
Yeah, I just ask. Are these symbols resembling the notes we found in Lander's room? Just out in the blue. Like,
Yes, but we
thinking
lost
out
those
loud.
notes. We lost those notes in the fire. They were in Aeolus's house. So we're only going by memory now.
Well, I think we should follow the symbols. I mean, are they like on one place, or are these just one tree and then like a few feet behind that tree is there another symbol?
We
Yeah,
don't
so
know.
it's on the one
They are
tree.
in succession.
It's
I mean,
like 8 inches, approximately in size. Not the tree, the sigil.
Mhm.
And then a bit beyond that, about 15, 20 feet, somewhere in that range, you can see another one clearly marked on the tree. And it's peculiar to even you, Dunnan, as you've all now spent some degree of time within the Pinwood. Any type of blemish upon these trees is typically met with that oozing black sap that quickly heals over a tree. These have not even any sap oozing upon them.
okay. I mean, you can ask your spirits or whatever hell he rests, but I'm gonna follow the sigils, and he takes out his axe and will put the hand on his chest and will cast what's it called? Arm of Agassiz on himself.
Nice.
And you see like ice forming around his chest and on his beard, and his breath gets a little colder.
Clear
And
frost coming out of your mouth as
Yeah.
you go. Okay.
he follows the
That's at
sigils.
first level, correct?
Yes, yeah, I only have first level, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So you start looking around. Give me a perception check, Dunnan.
Sure.
And this time, Helaras, you've completed casting.
Okay.
your augury. In regards specifically to your question, wheel.
Okay.
And Danan has a torch out, I recall.
Okay, so you have a torch in one hand, axe in the other.
Yes.
Okay.
Shield on the back.
Hey guys, I know you're like weird about my bones, but they're telling me that this is the way to go. We can be confident.
Already ahead of you.
Mm-hmm. So I'll follow along with Dunnan.
The last that we saw the tracks, did Siegfried track them following into the towards these trees?
You did lose them towards the edge of the farmer's field. And then this was like the next thing that you saw. You don't currently see any tracks upon the ground.
Okay.
The farmer's field was too churned up by the edge there, and then turned into pretty flat and solid ground along the edge. That was like clay, like hard packed clay used to retain water.
Do I need to roll anything to write down or copy the glyphs that we saw?
No, you can go ahead and copy them down. Roll. Every now and then, I'm going to ask for a d20 roll from you. Just record what numbers you write down. What numbers you roll as we go.
Sure. You want me to do one now?
Yeah, go ahead and give me one.
Can I give you 3 of them?
Well, one initially.
Okay.
As the group of you are still standing around, sort of coordinating what the ideas are, Captain Brath Stormsurge catches up to the group of you, along with Frohen T-Dance supporting Mayor Tidell, who is sort of half limping. What's going on? You all rushed off in such a hurry.
Well, we found tracks leading away from the burned up hut, so... And they
Aeolus-
lead into the Pinwood.
Aeolus just ignores him and just continues in to the Pinwood.
Excuse us, Captain, but we're gonna follow the tracks before they getting cold.
Yes, we do have to go. It's much too scary out here for you, not us. I mean, so you should probably turn around and do the town stuff. And then Mullen would turn around and also follow. But as walking off would turn around and say, "Go on, shoo, we've got this."
Sort of looks to you, William, and looks down at you. He's a large man. He's staring you down. That's not how you should behave with your elders.
Oh, we keep our elders safe. That's what the the bloody mad dogs do. So, we'll keep you safe. Tried to get rough on it and failed a little bit on,
Intimidation check.
Oh, I was going for a performance instead of that's fine with y'all.
Okay.
Okay. He sort of crosses his arms. All right then. Go keep us safe. Aeolus.
Yes.
I know what's going on. Something doesn't smell right to me.
Something doesn't smell right to me either. But that could be because my home was just burnt to the ground.
He sort of shakes his head and pulls you in close for a moment. A strange degree of affection clasps one hand around your back, and then very softly whispers in your ear. I think there's more to everything here.
Aeolus's eyes, for the first time in the last 20 minutes, just stop and they focus. Not even staring at him, just off past him, as he remembers his placing, and will salute and will turn and try to lead the group into the Pinwood.
Okay. The rest of you follow?
Willis would go dashing after her and
Yes, I was already going.
try to grab Aeolus' shoulder or hand if they let me.
That's Aeolus' call.
That's a big nope.
It would probably end up that like awkward one where I'm like holding a bit of your cloak chasing after you.
Right, see, he manages your train. Nice.
He keeps it from getting wet and dirty.
Oh god.
Exactly.
It is nighttime. You've all been up all day as you're pushing into the Pinwood. I would like Aeolus and Dunnan, I'd like you to each roll me individual perception checks. I believe you both have dark vision, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so regular perception checks, not disadvantage.
Ooh, I have
Another one.
it too.
So does Hillarest.
Okay. Well, I'm asking Dunnan because he was pushing off in the lead, and Aeolus because he's driving with a purpose, and you're probably finishing picking up your things from your spell. Anyway.
I was just excited to have it, and that's all.
Yeah, all good. Okay. As you're pushing in, the trees, there's no very hard delineation where the woods start and the fields stop. The trees are a dozen feet apart, and then 8 feet apart, 6 feet apart, and then in intermittent groups as you're pushing deeper and deeper, following these trails. Go ahead and give me another roll, Willem. Take note of your result.
If you look at my character sheet, it's noted down under my flaws.
That's fine. Yeah, just make sure that they're indicated separately. You know that it was a 13 and 19, not a 1, a 3, a 1, and a 9, or something like that.
Yep. Got it.
As you're following in, the sounds of the village behind you. Now, a proper state of alarm, as the fire is finally being put out, and everyone's making sure that no other homes have caught or anything like that. That sound recedes quite rapidly. Then about 100 paces into the wood, you hear silence. The crunching of the pine needles under your feet, still patches of snow underneath a few boughs that might not get any sunlight during the day. The last dregs of winter still trying to hold on. How long do you continue to follow this trail? As you quickly start to realize after about 10 minutes of traveling, there's a sigil every 12 to 18 feet. And they're always visible from one to the next in the direction that you're traveling. It's fairly straightforward to be able to follow, especially with that check from Dunnan.
Aeolus would personally push on and wouldn't stop unless or until someone of his group makes a notion or a suggestion to.
Okay. So it's about 8 o'clock in the evening when the fire happened and you all entered. 9 o'clock rolls around. You get to 9:30. 10 o'clock, and at this point, Dunnan, your torch has burned down. Do you light a second?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mark off one torch as you fire up the second one. Continue to push in this hunt. What's the rest of the marching order for the party?
Elrest always stays near the rear.
Okay. Willem in front of you.
Yeah.
I was trying to hold on to Aeolus's cloak still. I don't know how that goes, but
Okay.
if not,
So we're behind
what-
Aeolus, and then we'll say Siegfried's mixed in between Hellerest and Willem. Hellerest.
Mm-hmm.
As you continue onwards, you can feel the weariness starting to set in, but you have this cold shiver that's running down your spine. This unpleasantness. You're not sure if, what it is. Maybe the trees themselves. Maybe it's your own exhaustion at this point. But part of you feels like you might be being watched.
Yeah. Aeolus will keep looking behind her and around. That's why she likes to take the back. She likes to watch, turn and watch and see what's going on behind her.
Okay.
She's going to keep seeing her head go back and forth and back and forth. Not saying anything yet. She didn't want to make anybody panic, but it does seem to be kind of par for the course to be watched in the Pinwood, so. Shall I roll a perception check, or?
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was rolling at disadvantage.
That's fine. But
Okay.
just go with the first number anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, because you have dark vision as well, so you.
Yes, yes.
You're not sure. You can't quite shake it. You just have that hair standing on end feeling. At this point, I need the entire group to make Constitution saving throws as well, please.
Oh boy.
Okay. And one for Willem, please. Here we go. Took a moment to come through. Aeolus
Yeah, sorry about that.
Dunnan. No worries. I think it's just roll 20 being roll 20. Alright, Aeolus and Dunnan, you both gain a level of exhaustion at this time of night. Just continuing to push. 10 o'clock turns into 11. As midnight draws nearer, you hear the first sound besides the group of you trudging through. Somewhere far to the east of you, you hear the howling of a wolf. You have the thoughts of your last encounter with the wolves of the Pinwood flash through your minds. Their open mouths and metallic, corroding blood. Bile. Queasiness sets into the stomach of some of you. Midnight comes and goes. I need a second Constitution save from everyone, please. Aeolus takes
Spencer.
Yeah.
Can I use my inspiration on that?
Sure.
Nope.
Aeolus take a second level of exhaustion. And Willem, take your first.
Are there still sigils visible?
Yeah.
I don't want to take it. I'm not tired. You're tired.
There are. And
It's
they
getting
are.
ridiculous.
They're still
How
not
far?
oozing or being caked over with sap. Hellerast,
Mm-hmm.
as you're proceeding, the howl of the wolf about an hour ago put your senses on as high alert as you could possibly get them at this point. It's been a long day. You're keeping yourself going. You know this matters. And you hear the crack of a branch somewhere off behind you. Like a sudden snap of a branch. What do you do?
How about how far away is it?
I'm not sure. You heard it was a split-second sound that you whirled around when you heard it.
Yes. I will say, gentlemen, we have a visitor behind us. Draw your weapons, please. Let's get ready to go.
Again, those creepy wolves.
We don't know. I just heard a branch break.
Alright. Can I see anything with the torch? Make out? Any
Branches
movement?
don't break by themselves.
You
We
hold
may
the
not
torch.
see it, but
You hold the torch high, trying to cast a light as far as you can. Are the group of you all staying together, or are you fanning out?
I think back to.
I think
probably
back to
we're gonna use the back to back before they surround us, pick us off one by one.
back to back with Willem in the middle.
You sort of shift, looking around, keeping your heads on a swivel, as you hear more rustling. Pine needles dead upon the ground, shifting. One step and then another. You hear a limb creak near you. And sitting, as you spin to the sound of the creaking limb, you see sitting upon it a pretty healthy-sized raven, maybe a crow, carrion bird. There's another shifting of pine needles off to your left as you turn away from the crow, and emerging from, it seems like the path that you've followed up to this point. If you would like to describe Claylith.
Sure. There's a young man who bursts through the wood there. He appears young, maybe 18 or 19, but his long pointed ears unmistakably reveal him to be elven. He's copper-skinned with sharp angular features, even more sharp and angular than is normal for an elf, and his figure is lean to the point of being scrawny. His clothing is common, but well-fitted and dyed to complement his blue eyes and auburn hair, although right now it's got a variety of pin needles kind of sticking out here and there. Seems to have been in a bit of a rush. He wears a dangling earring of turquoise crystal from his left ear. And as he bursts through the woods, he looks up, panting. Crow, where are we going? You must about lost me.
Who the fuck are you? You're the arsonist we are trying to find.
You almost got killed, idiot.
What? Me?
Oh, don't just try to sneak up on us.
He looks over his shoulder back to himself and pointing this. Top arsonist? I'm not an arsonist of any kind. What are you talking about?
There's a fluttering of feathers. Willem, make a dexterity saving throw, please.
Yikes. Willem was also about to say, who is this? Whose friend is this?
Willem, there you are.
Willem, as the group has
can you
surrounded
hear me?
them. Yeah, we can hear
Okay.
you. The group has you surrounded at the moment, but they're paying attention to this newcomer. The raven sort of flutters down onto your shoulder and sort of taps at your head.
Ah! First somebody says, Willem, and now there's a... What's going on? And he's
So they had to
like, pointing
capture
his arms.
Willem? You brutes let him go.
Is this your bird?
Flies away from you, Willem.
Yeah, is Willem your prisoner? I'll fight you.
I'll see you try.
I'm so confused. I'm
I
not
could-
anybody's prisoner.
Take out my eggs.
Willem's a mad dog.
Is that true, Willem? Have you gone mad? Are you alright?
I'm not mad, but I'm a mad dog. What?
Who is
are
this
you?
clown, Willem?
I don't know.
You better hurry up before I cut him down.
Whoa, alright. He holds up his hands, takes a step back. Alright, I was just a bit of bluster there. Alright, okay. My name is Claylith. Willem, it's me. Claylith,
Is this one of your numbers, Willem?
No, but
Oh.
I think I had a uncle 6 times removed or a cousin named that.
I'm
You
your
sure?
great-great-granduncle.
Yeah, that one. Is it you?
Sure
I
is.
thought you
Come
were
here.
old.
He like rushes towards the group, then stops, then like
Whoa.
does like this side shuffle, trying to skirt around and get at Willem.
Well, I'm always loving fam would have basically done the jump, hug, squeeze,
There we
spin
are.
around.
He jumps in for the same sort of hug, sort of stumbling as we're spinning around each other.
Well,
And
not to spoil your
neither
family
of those are
reunion,
obviously
but what
really
are you
married.
doing in the pinwood?
Yeah, I thought you were. Oh, as I said, I thought you were old and far away. What happened?
Well, that's no way to talk to your elders now, Willem. But for your information, I was looking for you. And he pokes him on the nose.
Well, did I do something wrong? Did Ma send you?
Well, I mean, I heard something about you guys killing someone, but that seemed kind of bad. But apart from that, I was fun. Not that I know. Something about you need to get to some chores, but nothing that I care about. I just wanted to find you. It's been so long. I haven't seen you in like 50 years when you were the size of a pumpkin.
Is that when you called me knee-high to a grasshopper? I remember that.
Did I say that? I don't. Maybe think of someone else.
Mm,
No.
How old are
maybe
you?
it's that other uncle. Well, starts counting on fingers. I think I'm. Well, I'm not 50. I'm closer to 20s, 30s,
Oh,
30.
maybe-
Yeah, 30.
maybe it was when your dad was young. Time flies. Am I right?
I guess. Willem looks completely confused at this point.
Illarast has not sheathed any of her weapons and does not like this guy at all. This doesn't add up.
Well, look, here's the point. He's holding up his hands. I'm here to find you. I've come a long way to find you. All right? I miss you. I know we never met. I was never part of your life before, but, well, when you get older, you start to get things in perspective, and things like family become more important. You'll learn one day when you're older, too.
That you realized in the pinwood.
It wasn't my preference. I was trying to catch y'all, but you were so damn fast. I'm not used to running like that.
Can I run an insight? Because all of them at this moment.
Absolutely.
Alright.
Illarast is also going to do that.
Sure.
She doesn't like this guy at all.
First time I roll decently, it's taken away.
That's what you get for having exhaustion. Entirely your fault. He's a tough individual to read. If even the stuff about his age, regardless of his relation to Willem, seems to be true, that puts his mannerisms in a slightly different style than you might be used to in the first place anyway. None of you have seen him around before. Like, never in Elderthorn previously. Not in your time. Yeah, he's a tough nut to crack. He seems like he's being genuine, though.
I don't know what to make out of it, but point years you can stay for now. William is family to you, so you watch him, and if he does any funny business, I will hack off your arms. You get it?
My arms or his arms?
His arms.
Don't hack
Oh,
off
thank
any
God.
of our arms, please.
Yeah, he's
Right.
a horrible aim. He might take off, your shoulders or your head or
I'm
maybe
really
some
attached
toes
to my
instead.
shoulder.
Oh gosh, I hope it's not like the last time a family member showing up from far. They drink so much brandy and cause so much problems.
Tell me more.
And now,
Well-
shut up. We are following a trail.
Oh,
And I'll look around
right.
for the sigils.
Sure, I'll be. Yeah, no problem. What are we doing?
You shut up. I watch for sigils.
You still see the trail easily done.
So
just
this
with
way.
flashlight.
Come on, Grow.
Has somebody been writing down the sigils in order?
Willem has been, if I recall correctly.
Okay.
As we
Yeah, speaking of Willem, I need another 2 rolls, please. Okay.
What you writing?
As you...
these things on the tree, they're called sigils, and I'm writing them down because that's what you do to sigils. Don't you know anything?
Not about writing sigils. You look at you. You grew up so quick. He gives him like a ruffle of the hair.
Well, would absolutely just like blush if anybody could see it. Like if they had any sort of dark vision, that probably change colors.
As you push deeper into the pinwood, the boughs above you get slightly illuminated by the moon. Looks to be waning, about maybe 10 days into its waning cycle. Almost a new moon. The trail continues. Slowly, one foot falls after another. As you get to about 2 a.m., Aeolus especially, but the rest of you are also starting to feel the exhaustion really truly setting in. Are you going to try to camp, or are you going to keep pushing?
Yeah, my feet are hurting. Can we stop, please? This is exhausting.
Speaking of Cleolith, make a con save.
Doesn't matter if he succeeds or not. He says that anyway.
You do not. You being the genuine article. Take a level of exhaustion.
Will do.
Pillar rest is all for finding a place where we can at least rest back to back. Maybe doing the rope thing, but not sure about that. We're still going to have to take watch, but we could at least sit down and rest for a while.
Rope thing? That's a bit worrying.
Yeah. We don't have to hang the bell on it. I still feel bad. Somebody else lost their bell.
Who's bailing? Why are you hanging them?
Just to make sure nothing's trying to sneak into the camp. It was a stupid idea.
Just like staring at you with complete lack of comprehension.
Never mind. Go away.
If the group at this point is all standing around talking, Aeolus is trying to still shuffle forward.
Aeolus, you're not going to be any good to us if you're too exhausted. You're just going to fall into a bloody heap. Calm down. Sit. Eat
She's
something.
right. We have been following this trail for 6 hours. My feet are starting to bleed if I continue walking. We need some rest.
We're supposed to get to what we need to get to alive. And ready to fight. We will be neither of those things if we don't stop.
I'm always ready to fight.
Yeah, but You can
But
be
you're
fighting,
looking
not
towards
not
where?
very effective.
Is this a good time to ask questions?
Maybe.
Not from you.
It's always a good time to ask questions.
I'm gonna go with Willem's advice because I like it. So where are we going? Who we fighting? And what's y'all's names?
Number one, we don't know. We're just following the trail. Number
You don't know your own
two,
names?
I
My name's
said number
Willem.
one.
You knew
That
that.
was your third question. Shush. I'm Hellerast. Everybody else can give you their name if they want to or not.
Siegfried will introduce himself.
Rather smash his head. He's starting to annoy me. And I'm exhausted. It's not a good combination. But I'm done and Firebeard.
Willem goes digging in their bag and pulls out a couple slices of walking bacon for everybody and a couple peppers for Denon. While this conversation is going, some people are less cranky.
Mmm.
Hellerast,
Yep.
give me a survival check, please.
You brought some ale, Willem? That could cheer me up.
No.
No shit.
Next time, though, I didn't know there was a need for it.
I'm just cranky.
What's wrong with bacon? Don't you like bacon, Mr. Fireface? Was that?
He squints his eye. Oh, you're a death's door if you talk more shit. Firebeard, I'm not gonna repeat myself.
The area through which you've been traveling, Hellerast, has a lot of surface routes. There's not very many conducive spots to camping and resting.
Mm-hmm.
That said, the group of you don't have all of your supplies for running into the Pinwood.
No,
You
we
had a
came with
dinner
nothing.
party, and then you rushed with probably your basic gear to a fire, and then you rushed into the Pinwood. So it's not like you're trying to put out bedrolls in the first place anyway.
Nope, just back to back, resting on each other, just trying to get some rest. Someplace where the roots don't dig into our asses too much.
Yeah.
If possible, Willem would start to use mulled earth, and if there's a little stream nearby, shape water to just make our life more comfortable. See if we
There's
can
not a
catch a
stream.
little fishy. What's that?
There's not
No
a
water?
stream nearby. No.
Okay, well, at least mulled earth to like level things out and get rocks out of the way, flatten it, yada yada yada.
It's more about raising up some of the dirt above the roots than removing some. But it makes the ground less uneven. No one has to sit with a stick in their ass.
Unless they want to.
Thanks. Hellerast gives him a little pat on the shoulder. On the forehead, right there.
Are the
Thank you, dear.
You're welcome, Ellie.
Are the group of you setting a watch?
Hellerast didn't roll any exhaustion, so she'll start.
Okay.
Because it's what, 3 a.m. now anyway?
Yeah, about 2 a.m.
About 2 a.m. Okay. Yeah, she'll start.
Aeolus also stays up. He's too wired.
Okay. So you two are taking first
Take
watch.
the last one. Oh. Then I'll take second.
Alright, then take second. Okay. Who's taking third? Siegfried will take third. And who wins last watch? Be Willem and Claylith will be awake. So, 2 you want to take it?
I'm gonna stick up with Willem. Got so much catching up to do.
I was hoping nobody would notice. I wanted to nap the whole night. But yeah, that sounds good.
Well, you'll be awake during that part of the rest anyway. Because 2 hours of inactivity that you don't have to sleep.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. So as you all settle in uneasily, the first watch, Hellerast and Aeolus pacing around. like perception checks from both you. Aeolus with disadvantage. The cold hours of the evening drag by. You hear shivers and twitches from your companions every now and then as they're attempting to rest, but yeah, right? Other than that, the time passes. You give Dunnan a shake. Dunnan, you didn't sleep. But...
That's damn pinwood. I prefer the faded gates beds, but whatever. I do hope I'm gonna find this arsonist and kick his fucking ass.
Dunnan,
Right.
give me a perception check, please. No, you have a level of exhaustion also, correct?
Oh yes.
So you have disadvantage on that.
Perfect. Checks out.
Yep. Your first hour of your watch goes quietly. As it draws close to about 5 a.m., you can see the very faint beginnings of rays starting to form in the sky. The small patch that you can see. The stars begin to fade. As you're sort of sitting here in contemplation, trying to figure out a way to be warm once you do try to get a little bit more sleep, you hear footsteps.
Great. Can I make out anything?
Mm-hmm. You hear footsteps plodding along. You're not sure if the person or persons that is causing the sound is careless or not caring, or not very good at being quiet. You just hear footsteps coming from part of the trail here.
Okay. I would. Who's next to me?
At this point, let me a D4. Aeolus is nearest to you at the moment, resting.
Like, take a stick and just try to wake him up. Aeolus! Shh! We got company! Over there! And I point to the... Oh, he probably hears the footsteps.
Aeolus?
Aeolus would shift over and would try to listen if the footsteps are getting closer or further away. As he struggles to stand up.
Pull yourself to your feet, comfortably sort of rolling your shoulders, trying to work out some crick from how you were laying against one of the tree trunks. Footsteps getting louder. You're not sure.
What?
There's like a muffled sound that's accompanying them. It's tough to tell number. You can recognize the at least two clear feet falling upon the ground. You're not sure if it's a single individual or multiples. There's like a dragging sound as well. Not heavy, but like accompanying everything.
You should get the jump on them. Seems like they're carrying somebody. I would slowly make my way over to Hell Everest.
Or they're
Rest.
hunters.
I don't care. Got the surprise now if we act.
Okay. Helirast is light sleeper. So she got up, she'd been sleeping with her axe in her hand, left her spear at home. So she does not have that. Just the hand axe. And so she's standing ready.
Okay.
And the other
Willem-
two.
Yeah, I was gonna say Willem and Clalith are still resting. Are you waking them?
Yes.
I'll cast again Armor of Pegasus on me.
Okay. Noted.
Helirast will cast it on herself as well.
Oh, you have it as well.
I do.
Right.
Turns out that Claylet did not have a bedroll, so he has been like squeezed up very tight next to Willem to half share his.
Nice. And Helirast, are you casting at first level or second level? Because you have second level slots.
First level.
Just first level? Okay.
Uh-huh.
So you have 5 temporary.
Aeolus
Count of 3.
is obviously not as exhausted as Aeolus.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Okay. Aeolus is going to hand his great spear over to her.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Why are we getting up? What's going on?
Shut up.
Willem
Be quiet
probably
for once.
mutters under his breath in Infernal. Whoever wakes me, let the dark take them. Huh? Why are you waking me?
That's not very nice to say.
Get up,
Claylet will respond
company.
also infernal.
On the count of 3, and he will put up a hand with 3 fingers
Yeah,
and just
so
go down.
Are the group of
Who's
you
it?
staying in this area where like all the earth has been raised, or are you getting to the sides of it to try to ambush?
Yo,
whatever's
rush to.
coming?
Dana is gonna rush towards the footsteps.
Okay.
And since he had watch, he has don't on his armor, so
Yep.
he's prepared.
Okay.
Can Helirast also cast Bless on everybody who's exhausted? That would be Aeolus, Dunnan, and who else? Is anybody else exhausted?
I'm tired. I'm very tired.
Except you?
Willem has a
Except
point
for
of
yourself,
exhaustion.
Helirast.
That's rude.
Let's see. Aeolus, Dunnan, and Willem all get blessed.
Yep.
Also at
Okay.
first level.
Right.
Yep.
So.
Danan is counting down.
Okay. The footsteps are drawing closer. You count down. On 1, you rush. Wheeling around a tree. Make me an attack roll with your weapon and bless.
Oh.
Let's see.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, wow.
I certainly hope that wasn't an ally.
Oh well, should I dump in? No, I'm not gonna dump in it.
As you rush around the corner blindly, Helirast magic helping spur your axe forward. You wheel and get a heavy chop into the person that's approaching the group of you, and there's a cry out and a woman scream in pain as she's clutching her arm. Now it's not moving at all. Ah, why would you do that? As you see, you've grievously injured Rowan T-Dance, the physician.
What?
No,
What?
I don't mean
What are you
arm.
doing here? You crazy!
Ah, my
What?
arm!
What
Oh,
the
gonna-
fuck are you doing in here in the middle of the night?
Immediately dump in, lay on hands, 14 points.
10 points? Okay.
Cure wounds from me.
Yeah, mark it off.
Are you fucking crazy following us outside? We just told the captain we are following the trail. What are you doing here? And who is this? And who else do I see?
No, it's just her.
Just her, okay.
Dragon sound was her traveling cloak behind her feet.
Willem.
Explains the muffle.
You suicidal?
Willem mutters under their breath in abyssal. Well, at least it's not more family.
She slowly tries to flex her fingers again as the healing magic from the two of you courses through. I'm surprised any of you have any friends. That's how you greet anybody.
In the fucking
You
Pinwood,
don't gotta
yes.
tell me. I know it.
You shut up. I'll cast
See?
command on Clayleaf and say quiet.
You can make a wisdom save. You can pass. Doesn't affect you.
Fold his arms and kind of mutter, I didn't want to talk anyhow.
Hellerast is helping Frojan up to her feet and saying, "It's the middle of the night in the Pinwood. You know we went in here, and you didn't announce yourself. What did you think was going to happen?
Actually,
I'm sorry, but
it's not the middle of the night. There's the sun.
It's almost on, yeah.
almost dawn. Still,
Like an hour from sunrise.
we're exhausted and we're freaked out. Announce yourself or something, please. Whistle, sing, do something."
Hold up.
Don't let things
wait a
find
minute.
me in here?
Yeah.
Well, the things that found you hurt you bad.
You could have been dead, woman. You crazy?
Uncle Clay, do you think it's suspicious that she's out here too?
Seeing as I was out here, no.
That's a good point. Would you like some walking bacon?
Yes.
At this point, with everyone awake,
Delicious.
Aeolus puts his armor back on and tries to find the markings on the tree.
Yeah. The group of you have not completed a long rest yet.
You crazy?
Oh, I know.
No way.
We are not gonna venture forth. It would die from exhaustion.
Sorry, sir. I know I'm not supposed to talk, but good woman, what's your name? I don't think
I'm Rowan. Rowan Tea Dance.
Howdy, I'm Claylith. I also met this bunch, and they also almost killed me. We got a lot in common.
If I killed her, I would be sorry. You? Not so much.
She sort of cocks an eyebrow at you, Playlith. Where are you from? I'm not familiar with you in Elderthorn.
I've been at Elderthorn since, 50 years at the best. Been in other ports.
Such as... Never mind.
The place you mentioned, Spencer, but I forgot the name of. Sorry.
Armskirk.
Armskirk. It's a bit of ways up the coast.
That's that accent. Okay.
You know, we are still
I've always
pretty
wanted to go there.
tired.
Uh,
Could we go back to resting now? You too, Aeolus.
Well, Lady Tea Dance, was it? If you're looking for a place to rest, you're free to share Willem's bed with me, since we're all just snuggled in.
smirks and has a confused look on her face. I'm good. Look, this is difficult for me. I'm not used to traveling through the Pinwood.
Yet here you are.
Well,
So
there was
what
a
are you doing here anyway?
clear trail as to where you went.
So you were following us.
I was trying to find you. you said some things at dinner that concerns me.
And what do you mean exactly? Get to the point. I'm a little bit cranky.
I can
Maybe
tell,
you
Master
should.
Dwarf.
My name is Firebeard, not Master Dwarf.
Listen, do any of you know what glint moss is? It's it's bioluminescent moss. It grows in the pinwood. It's one of the herbs that I had asked Lander to try to find, if possible.
Can't say that we've seen it.
Oh, just these weird mushrooms.
Yeah, just the mushrooms.
Anyone can make me, if you're proficient with herbalism tools, you can make me a wisdom herbalism tools check with advantage. If you are proficient with nature, you can make a regular nature check.
Oh, sir.
Sorry, I never heard of it.
Hellerast is herbalism and nature.
Okay, so then you can use herbalism tools using your wisdom. So when you click on it, it should ask you what ability to use, and you get advantage on it.
William is an expert cook. Would that give me any insight to shrooms?
Would not, no. Not a cooking ingredient that you recognize. And then roll one more time for advantage. Hello, asked.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Hey, there you go.
Hey!
Hello, asked. You know, like, it takes a moment, but like when she describes the moss, you're like, you know what that is. It's specifically a medicinal plant. It usually has a halfway decent shelf life. And when ground into a powder, it can be mixed into a tincture that is used as a muscle relaxant and like a mild anesthetic to dull pain. Like it's used in generally like if you needed to like stitch somebody up or give them a degree of reprieve from like a broken bone or something like that.
Something a doctor would definitely want to have on their shelves.
Yeah, but it's not something that's used in the treatment of like an illness generally.
Right.
It's an injury.
Injury, not illness.
Yeah, it's used to treat injuries and remediate that.
So what she's saying doesn't really make a whole bunch of sense in context.
Yeah. So as she's looking around, she sees your recognition on your face. So we needed a lot of glint moss to help Nara.
How was that supposed to work? Did you find a new way to use glint moss?
Sort of sits down on one of the trees and pulls out a wineskin, takes a drink from it. No, it has its traditional use is most apt in my practices. Sort of like furrows her brow in a moment as she's speaking. I generally only use it for its natural purpose.
And what's its natural purpose again?
Well, if you were to use it, you could dull muscle pain, help relieve tense or torn muscles.
Okay, so she was in muscle pain? Tell us a little bit more about her illness. What do you know about her illness? Nobody knows what's going on back there.
Oh, I can't speak on
of course
specific patients. I mean, she was sort of furrows her brow for a moment and like winces. she was ill for a good time.
Was? She not ill anymore, or is she dead?
The mayor mentioned at dinner that she was getting better. That was truthful.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she should be fit to rejoin public life very soon.
What was this moss called again?
Glint moss. Glint moss. All one word.
Have you been trying to find glint moss in the woods all this time? Do you not know where to get it from, or are you... Sorry about the 20 questions. This is weird, though.
So it
Yeah.
takes another long sip from her wineskin. I know from where I can acquire it should I need it. I had exhausted my own supply during the beginnings of... I generally exhaust... She winces again. I usually exhaust my supply in the beginning of any type of illness that proceeds for a long time. Especially when she twitches a little bit. I know it's going to be a set... She winces, bites her lip for a moment. She doesn't finish her sentence.
Are you okay?
Something matter?
Yes, I think the travel is getting to me. Takes another sip from her wineskin.
No wonder you've been. It's in the morning to get this deep to the pinwood. You must have been walking as long as we have. That's been hours. You must be exhausted.
You all moved quite quickly. I was worried that I was going to lose track of you.
Were you trying to catch up?
I was. You all had quite a purpose behind you.
Well,
Yeah,
there is
well,
an arsonist and a murder on the run. Of course, we had a purpose.
Well, it's also Aeolus's house who got burnt down.
Sometimes...
It's a little personal.
I mean, sometimes actions can have unintended and accidental consequences, but people can find purpose in that.
Says the one venturing into the pinwood alone.
Yes.
Oh, yes, the pinwood, too.
I also ventured to the pinwood. Not quite alone because I had Crow with me, but just saying, it's not impossible to happen. Happens now and then.
Well, not just
Is it
pinwood, but
was it
in life, things can... That, yes. So, takes a few deep breaths. Wipes her brow.
Well, now that we have all catched up, I'm gonna go to sleep. I don't know what you are gonna do, but I'm too tired for those philosophical discussions.
Has her physical, has her health been getting worse in the moments that she's been talking to us?
No.
Okay.
Not that seems outward of any type.
I think it's like the
She seems exhausted.
the local version of a HIPAA violation was about to happen too.
Well, here's an idea, right? Willem and I, we just had our good long rest. How about you take Willem's nice, comfy, warm sleep roll? You just rest yourself down, and the two of us will do the rest of the watching. How's that sound?
We still have just 2 more watches, right? So.
No. Yeah. So it's Siegfried's next.
Okay.
Well, Clearlith is an elf.
Yeah, so
So he-
Clearlith has completed their. So you are long rested, Clearlith. Siegfried is up. Everyone else needs to sleep.
Dan is already donning off his armor, preparing to go to sleep.
Aeolus is
Muttering behind his beard, crazy women following us into Pinewood, getting the jump on us. Yeah, we're suicidal. And he just goes on and on.
She here, as you'd say, some people think that such consequences could be worth it.
Is she saying that to Danan?
Yeah.
Yeah. Was it worth getting my ex between your shoulders?
Oh, not my own shoulders. Never. Never saw the consequences worth it myself.
Word of advice. Next time, you better announce yourself. Alright? So that we can prevent any further accidents that might happen. Alright?
Sort of winces for a moment. In my general practice, sometimes the accidents happen anyway.
But this
isn't
one,
that-
I can tell you, could have been prevented.
maybe that's enough throwing jabs back and forth. We just get to rest.
It's the first wise words I heard out of your mouth. Keep that up. Good night.
Not a good night. A
I just give her the, like, don't you dare say it. Just shut her eyes.
stubborn dwarf never understands things.
I know, right? He's a real prickly.
Looks over to Hellerast. The lots of things can mean many things. And sometimes you always see signs in the sky when the seasons are going to start changing. Birds flying to new areas. Things start to grow. I mean, they don't necessarily mean that a season's changing, but it's too much coincidence if plants grow and birds show up that spring would show as well. So they're used to as good indicators, yes?
yeah.
Clearlith gives like a slow blank. What are we talking about?
Not sure. I think we all just need to rest and talk about this when we're all rested. Does that make sense to everybody? Talk
No.
after rest.
No. Varen seems visibly frustrated with the group of you at this point.
I feel like there's something you got to spit out. Go on.
Yeah.
Spit it out. He's going to, as he's saying, spit it out, as he says, tell us what you're trying to say. He's going to try casting suggestion on her.
Sure. Okay. You feel the spell take hold.
He reaches up and touches the earring from his left ear as he's fiddling with it as he says it.
I mean, it's very, visible that there's a spell taking place. It takes hold, and she sort of winces and twitches for a moment, and then like reaches over, shakes, done. Not yet. I can't speak directly of.
Are we continuing forward or are we doubling back?
What would she sort of calms herself down a little bit. Some illnesses have a duration that you know how long they will last before someone is well again.
Hey, I think she's got some sort of spell on her, is what she's saying.
And those illnesses can be treated with glint moss.
And she needs some glint moss so that she can speak her mind.
No. She winces. Her head twitches sharply to the side. The appearances are important. I take care to make sure no one spreads rumors about me. So she's trying to keep all of you awake. She's not letting any of you sleep at the moment.
Aeolus is going to look around.
Okay. Looking at her, looking at the group, or looking outside of where your little party's gathered?
Looking outside where the party is gathered. So her indecisiveness, her way of speaking, it's reading differently than it did at the party.
Very much so.
Aeolus is going to turn to everyone else, and he's going to walk over to Hellerest and in her ear. Not everything we see is all that there is.
Hellerest completely agrees and nods.
T-Dan sees you move over there at the very least. You're trying to find what happened to Lander, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
What
And Aeolus's house.
What exactly do you know about Lander so far?
Lander, for lack of better speaking, ventured into the Pinwood at the behest of others to look for herbs to help his fiancée.
What happened before then?
He was reading in the mayor's library, researching.
Much before then. She winces.
He was at sea?
He was reading to her.
Yeah.
Not days. Much before. What else do you know?
Was he at sea?
No, he.
I'm trying to remember.
No, he was never at sea.
He was never at sea. Okay. Aeolus is a little lost then.
He served with the Blackburn.
Good lad. Doing civic duty. It's important, especially for one looking to find their own place in the world. What else did he do?
Much before.
No, after his service. She winces and grinds her teeth.
Am I able to make a history check?
Sure. So you don't know too much about Lander Goldworthy yourself. You know he was an avid reader based on speaking with his parents. He served in Blackburn Watch before most of you. He might have been in the same years as you during your recruit phase, but not worked together, Aeolus. He started courting Nara last summer before she fell ill in the fall. Late summer, early fall. During that time, he started getting their home ready for married life. And he was visiting Nara at the mayor's home, which then turns out he was also going into the Pinwood during that time.
He was preparing for... Is this before or after
No clue, Lilith.
he began courting?
Courtships are beautiful things. Although she winces and grinds her teeth and stops her sentence mid-trail. They... like, her eyes are watery. Like, she's looking at all of you, like, in a pleading fashion.
Aeolus is going to walk over to her and is going to drop down to his knee and is going to make to grab her hand.
She lets you.
And he's just going to look at her and quietly... The mayor?
She's a fine employer. What of her?
Did she approve of Lander?
For everything that I understand, yes. I think she readily accepted him. He was appropriate, from what I understand. And he definitely showed care and attention as one in his situation should.
What I'm looking for, the strain that she was going through, when I switched conversations and topics, was she able to speak more freely?
Seems like it. Not like... She seems like she chose her words carefully.
Right.
But, yeah. Any expecting to be married need to show care. Yes? She winces and grinds her teeth. For each other.
Of course they do. Like preparing for life with them.
She fumbles with her wine flask again, her hand shaking as she uncorks it, takes another swig to sort of steady herself. resets it and lets it.
Ender
fall back to
did
it.
some work in the dock ward.
From my understanding, yes, but that was mentioned previously, if I recall.
There was also a bunch of notes that Lander took. Notes involving an exotic language not known to many.
I generally know enough to recognize some languages, but so grinders heat. Sometimes, languages can be made of many parts. She looks around like Willem's family. Both of two heritages. Yes? So, humans and elves. Two parts.
Sure is.
Not of one.
Languages can be like that. And come from... She sort of tenses her neck for a moment. You can see some veins bulging for a moment. Things... And maybe languages spring out of such individuals. Fit for purpose.
Willem,
Yes. Sorry, I was muted and didn't realize it.
come over here with your book.
Oh, yeah, sure. I always have my book. Poof. Right here.
All of the symbols that you've been writing.
Yes. And then would begin, like, proudly showing them off.
Where are you looking for, Aeolus?
Aeolus is going to call over the rest of the group. Do these look like anything? Any other letters, any other scripts, even partially?
So I speak a few languages, so I don't know if...
So, I know the languages you guys have. As you examine them, they don't. Like, there's random swoops, and angles on some of the letters and characters that sort of maybe fit parts of other languages, but then other parts of that same character don't match. Like, there's nothing that reads as similar enough to any known character that any of you have in your repertoire.
Willem probably would have been making notes about things like that along, the edges of it. I feel like that would be a Willem-like thing to do, had I had the time.
Hillerast has her book, but it's at home.
When
The
you
cartography book she bought.
Yeah. When you were learning of Lander's work at the docks, did he do anything else there? Was there anything else there?
He went to hire 2 half-elves. to come along with him on the job we did.
And have you spoken to them?
We received word that they've ventured off on a hunting trip.
Really? Where are they hunting?
The Pinwood.
She winces and grinds her teeth. Flowers into spring.
They didn't go into the Pinwood.
She bites her lip, shakes her head vigorously before there's a crunching sound, as I think she might have fractured one of her own teeth. Flowers into spring are, and
Are a sign that seasons are changing.
birds and flowers, they aren't just random happenstance as spring approaches, correct?
They're not.
She sort of nods.
They're reactions.
She winces and nods again. Her brow furrows, beads of sweat appear on her temples. Takes her hand back from me for a moment to try to very carefully move the stopper out of her wine skin, take another swig before realizing she's drained it and just drops it on the ground next to her. Actions have consequences in all parts of life. It's important to step up when those consequences come, though.
Elrast is going to pull.
Even if someone's unwilling.
Elrast is going to pull Siegfried aside and ask him if he thinks she's under some kind of non-reveal spell, like she's trying to say something that she wants to say, but she's been prevented from saying it by magical means. I'm wondering if he can do detect magic to see if she's got some kind of spell on her. Because this is just weird to her. Hellerast does not like this. It's too riddly.
Yeah, so he'll cast Detect Magic. As he does, he'll sort of nod. One moment. He'll just nod and say, "She has some type of enchantment upon her. Not sure what though."
Okay. Okay. So we'll just listen a lot more carefully and see if we can make sense of what she's trying to say.
She looks to Dunnan, who she's shaking. Like every time you try to roll over Dunnan, she just sort of shakes you again, preventing you from sleeping.
You're still talking. What is it, woman? Speak plain. We ain't got so much time.
So that's not sleeping is something you have to deal with. It's a consequence.
Yes, of you talking.
No.
No, it's a consequence of us rushing off.
What do you mean? We're following the wrong trail?
She waves her hands back and forth at you, Aeolus. No,
Are you saying we should move on? Is that what you're hinting at?
Winces in pain. Her face is now visibly sweating. She reaches for her wineskin, like out of instinct, and it's not there. It's on the ground. It's been empty. She grabs her water skin, tries to have some of that. Looks upset about it, but tries to steady herself. She's gripping your hand tightly at this point, Aeolus. As she does.
You know, my strong suit is hitting things, not under solving riddles. So point me in a direction.
Some things in life require a gentle touch, Master Dwarf. Yes? What things might require you, some strong and brash, to handle them carefully and gently? She winces. You're able to take the wineskin, Lilith. It's empty. The stopper is attached by a leather thong. It's a long cork. It's about 3 inches long, and the wineskin is set up in such a way that there's a tether around the neck of it, and then it tapers to another end, so that way it can be slung almost like a pouch on a belt.
If she takes a sniff, does it just smell like wine?
Give me an intelligence check. I think you have a level of exhaustion, correct?
Oh, true.
It smells like
Nice.
wine. It smells faintly fruity. Sort of like a nice bouquet. Like the
They'll give it
remnants
us.
of- It's not unpleasant.
You give it a little shake and squeeze and like try to have a little taste.
Yeah, there's like about a drop left. You get a aroma of plums and citrus. It's quite pleasant.
Not bad. I have to try some of this later.
Ellerast asks Clalith, just like gestures. She just wants to make sure there's nothing herbal in there that she can recognize just by sniff or sticking her finger down there and getting a taste.
And you can make another intelligence check, and I'll be the last one on it.
Okay.
Okay, I'll hold back for a moment, kind of give her a squint look, and then we'll slowly extend it. All right, but I picked it up. It's mine now.
Rolling her eyes, she's like, yeah.
Nothing seems out of place with the wineskin Hallorast. You feel pretty positive that it seems like there might have just been wine inside. That
So she's just drinking her stress away.
seems like it.
Okay.
As the two of you are doing this, she's still sort of holding your, like, the edge of your armor done in, like around your collar, like giving you a good shake. What would you have to be? Would force you to have a gentle approach, Master Dwarf?
Fucking corpse. Because I'm not gentle. I never was. I'm a soldier. What do you expect from me?
I'm sure there's something. You
Like
would
holding the
never be
baby?
gentle with anything ever in your entire life, Master Dwarf.
You ever held
No.
a baby?
Not even horse.
Willem crosses their arms. You gave me a hug once and you were gentle.
Puppies?
That counts
Babies?
as gentle?
Yeah, you didn't even crack my back more than 3 times.
Must have been a soft day
Froen
for me.
lets go of Dunn and he's pulling away, topples over to the side or something. She turns over to you, Hellerast. Sometimes, when I'm treating any illness, I know how long it's going to last. Glint
Was she
moss is good
pregnant?
for it. She seizes for a moment. Her veins bulge. Her eyes are now bloodshot.
She's pregnant, isn't she?
What?
She's not ill. She's pregnant. and she's going to have the baby. That's why you need the herbs. She's about to go into labor. Is that it?
What?
No. She
Does she look pregnant?
needed the herbs. She
For what?
had the baby.
There's a baby in there somewhere, and she was put away because she wasn't supposed to be pregnant before she got married. Yes or no?
You see a shallow look on Frowen's face.
That's why they killed Lander? So they can't get married?
She says...
Lander knew.
She says the words.
Lander's baby.
Not by choice. And she collapses to the side and starts seizing horribly.
Oh crap. What's wrong here?
I forgot to give her
Siegfried!
walking bacon.
Siegfried, Hellerest, you have to do something.
Continues for 10 seconds. Continues for another 10 seconds.
I as a player do not know how.
Yeah, the body
shit.
stops moving. She stops seizing. She's just laying there on her side for a moment.
I'm going to open her mouth, make sure and put her on her side.
She had fallen over to the side because she was leaning against something.
Is she still breathing?
Make me a medicine check. As you sit her up, Aeolus, there is black blood oozing from her eye socket and going down to the side of her face where that was upon the floor of the forest. She's not breathing.
Not by choice. What if Lander found out?
So, let me get this straight. She was raped? And it wasn't Lander? But they were trying to keep it from him? And he found out, and so he had to be killed by whoever it was.
Either that, or it wasn't her choice to marry Lander.
Ah.
We have to talk to the mayor.
I'm confused. Are we going forth or going back to the city? What happened here?
I'm going to investigate T-Dance's, or I'm going to look through T-Dance's body.
Okay.
See if she has anything on her.
Give me an investigation check.
Loot.
Pretty good, even with the disadvantage. She has a number of things on her. Herbal influence, bandages, poultices that have like been prepared and then wrapped in dampened linens to keep them moist. 2 small vials about an inch in diameter and 2 inches in height, with a ruby-colored liquid within, and these have been stoppered and sealed with wax. They're intact, 2 of those. But that's everything that sort of stands out to you with that check.
Aeolus isn't going to remove anything. He's just going to put it back to where he found it.
Okay.
We need to go back.
Were those healing potions, the red ones?
Give me an Arcana check.
Or something else? Wondering why she wasn't using them for herself. Arcana?
Yeah, please. They are healing potions.
Okay. So she had those, but she wasn't drinking them.
2 basic healing potions.
Also, I know she hadn't used the potions, but 2 of you healed her, and she still died. It has to be something more than just normal physical wounds, I would think.
She was under duress from something. Something was... She wanted to talk, but she didn't. She couldn't. She was trying to give hints. But we just didn't get it.
Somebody had cast a key upon her.
Something about gentleness. Why would you need to be gentle?
It takes powerful magic to seal somebody from speaking what they want to speak over distance and time.
Mm-hmm. Unless that person is very close.
Gather up. We're heading back.
Yes. They're, of course, going to suspect us, so we must treat her gently. Not take anything from her corpse. We need to bring her home with all respect.
We're not going to finish resting then? We're just heading back now?
You guys are only halfway through resting.
Do you expect back in the village? Aeolus.
Don't think you'd like my answer.
Do you mean that was a ruse to get us out of town?
I think chasing into the Pinwood was the wrong idea.
Why is that?
I think I need to have a chat with her employer.
But it's better worth it because we were going for 6 hours. If that's all for nothing, I'm not gonna go back to the Pinwood.
Rest up. We might as well finish out. We don't need everyone not healthy.
Something? How come she's got black blood? Is that expected? None of y'all seem surprised by that.
Make an excellent point.
That's not a surprise. I mean, surprising, but we're in the Pinwood where everything kind of bleeds black. That may have been part of her curse.
Yes, perhaps we can try to connect it with the past.
Spencer?
Yeah.
Does the black blood remind me of a blood curse or a blood maledict?
It does not. Nor does it resemble the oozing sap-like blood that came from the wolves. It's more... It has the viscosity of blood. It's just colored black.
Aeolus is going to wipe some and is going to taste it.
Oh my god, that's disgusting.
Yeah, that's real gross.
That's it, he's losing his mind.
There's the...
Exhaustion.
You better not ask me to cook her. I'm not cooking her.
Make you a what?
Nature check. disadvantage.
Oh shit.
There's the Ferris, like, tang to it, like that irony taste, similar to like when, like, you bite your cheek or something. But beyond that, you can't quite place anything. See, taste as much like blood as you can reasonably expect.
Okay.
Seems like blood, acts like blood, bleeds like blood.
Does blood bleed? Or is it bled?
Yes.
That hurt. Alright. Aeolus just turns to the group. Get some rest.
After seeing that, I'm not resting next to you.
I don't plan on resting.
I'm still confused about what's going on and where we are going back. But well, I trust your judgment, Aeolus.
Oh, your name's
How many-
Aeolus?
Aeolus Brontes.
All right, just you didn't introduce yourself earlier, so Mr. Brontes, got it.
How many sigils did we get into the book?
So that's what Willem has been rolling for. It's got quite a lot in there so far. What were your numbers so far?
Okay, so we've got enough to go on to be able to see if we can figure
Thank you.
out what's going on with what kind of language that is.
What numbers do you have so far, Aeolus? Oh, yeah. There's over the course of the journey so far, there's been 3 different sigils appearing in various sequences.
Okay.
Like and based on Willem writing them as he went, and you're not sure if there's a pattern or not. It's not
Okay.
like ABC, 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 or anything like that.
It's like like DNA code.
Who knows?
No, but it's like those kind of sequence of numbers where it doesn't make sense
Potentially.
if you don't know at first.
Yeah, it doesn't look like there's been any type of pattern or any sort so far. From at least looking at his book.
Okay.
Right.
What
Remember
if
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, what if we split up? I know that's not the best
No.
thing to do, but somebody takes her back while some of us push on.
That is a 6-hour walk.
That idea. Okay.
Believe me, as much as I want to find whatever this trail leads to, and find the ones who burnt everything I have when I came over to Elderthorn, I'm of the Blackburn Watch, and if something threatens Elderthorn, I'm gonna stop it.
Oh, was that your house? That was the smoke I saw?
Yep. Now I'm homeless. You have an extra
That
bed?
sucks. Nope, I ain't got one either. You can share the one with Willem. That's what I've been doing.
We can just displace a couple of the numbers. There's
Really
plenty
creepy
beds there.
taken out of context.
What you talking about?
Oh, okay. So the group of you are returning to complete your rest.
Yeah.
Okay, so
We'll complete the rest and then go back.
All right, let's take our break here. Go about 6-7 minutes. Back 13 or 14.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
All right. As you all rest, in your own fashion, Willem.
I heard Willem. I just got back, sorry.
Yeah. As you rest, you fall into a cold and fitful sleep. Your dreams are uneasy. Willem still needs to rest, Clayla. He's not awake yet.
Oh, okay. I guess we have an hour left on Dunn's watch, or whoever's watch.
This is third watch. Willem still needs to sleep for third watch.
Gotcha.
While you rest, Willem, you hear a crack of thunder. You sit up. Looking around, none of your companions are nearby. The environment looks different. You see trees around you. The ground is coated in a layer of snow. What do you do?
Hell, this is a dream? Or does this feel real to me?
Feels real.
So, stand up and say, Unky Clay? Helly? Dunnan?
Your
Hello?
voice doesn't come out of your throat as you try to intone the words.
Hello? And then would, probably failing to talk again, would start to hold their throat and walk around, try to explore, figure out what's going on. Look for the fam.
After a few steps, you hear a rushing air, the sound of rushing air coming from up above ahead of you, and a heat, a warmth that's like warming your bones. All around you, the air itself feels pleasantly warm. Despite the snow upon the ground, the apparent winter that you're standing in, this heat's coming as you take one step and another forward. And you see light shining from between some of the tree trunks after you take a few more steps. You continue?
I would.
A few more steps, and you see a large cliffside. Angled upwards, jutting rock torn away by erosion and claps of stone beneath it that then cause the upper sections of the cliff to fall and crack and crumble, leaving this jagged precipice over what should be the churning ocean that makes up the Bay of Elderthorn and the waters to the south of the Pinwood.
Is this the cliff?
Seems like the cliffs of Thornridge Bluffs.
The one that I saw in a previous stream, I meant.
It seems familiar. The water's not present, though. As you glance out over where there should be dark sea, there is churning sea of fire. This is the source of the light and heat.
Oh, that's
you
not good.
feel.
Can I tell what kind of fire it is? Is it, a city on fire? Is it brimstone and hellfire?
It doesn't look like lava or magma. It looks like a carpet of fire covers where the surface of the sea should be. Like every patch is just rippling inferno.
Sounds real scary.
Unending. As far as you can see, illuminating the whole area, you can now see the sky above you is as bright as almost day, with this orangish hue to it. Glancing around, you see the precipice from before. Empty. No one stands there.
I'm going to go and stand where I had previously seen the cloaked person
The steps towards,
standing.
like before the precipice. As you approach it, your footsteps are difficult to trudge up to it, but nowhere near as bad as it was the last time that brought you to your knees to a meager crawl. Now you stand upon the edge, and what do you do?
Look out and scan the horizons. Try to remember as many details as possible. I feel like seeing this again would be enough to link the previous dream, and I would assume that it is a secondary dream. So I want to get all the details down so I can record it and tell my friends.
Make me a perception check.
Oh, am I at disadvantage right now, by the way?
No, yeah, regular roll. I'm gonna drag it down a whisper.
Whee!
As you're standing here, the roar of the inferno, hundreds of feet below you, the heat almost unbearable. The sounds of the inferno shift and change. And you swear you hear something for a moment. I'm going to add it to your sheet.
Okay.
I'm going to put it in ideals.
Okay.
The guttural sound. Aeolus ripples through you like a stone dropped into a placid pond. I'll drag you back up.
Cool.
So, Willem,
Whee!
with that,
Wee! What?
as that sound reverberates through you, your vision goes dark and you feel a falling sensation. You hear the sounds of woman's laughter, cackling, as you see nothing, just inky blackness surrounding you, pressing down upon you from all angles, until you wake in an instant, sitting bolt upright, startling Clalith, who's currently awake, and Siegfried.
Unky, Clay,
What?
here, take the blanket.
What's wrong? Yeah? What's wrong?
I had a dream. 1 sec. I'll explain. Yeah. And then would start to feverishly draw out what I'd seen, about the laughter, the potential name I heard. Would try to get down to everything while it was fresh in their mind.
So, try as you might, you are unable to write the characters to spell out the name.
Okay. But I remember it?
Yeah.
Okay. I think it would almost be like comic book style, like paintings of, different things that I
One
saw
panel
there.
after another.
Yeah, and then at the end, I would like draw like the equivalent of a little, voice bubble, and I would leave it blank as I couldn't, spell out the name.
You try writing one character, you forget how to make that character. You try writing a different one, then you're like, no, that's not right. Scratch it out and make it doesn't cooperate with you. Your hand doesn't want to work.
I'm sorry, Will. I'm confused by all this. What can you? What is it? What is all this?
And would keep just making that noise and holding up a finger until everything was down. But once it is, last time we encountered a horrible creature out here, I had a dream, and it felt like it was more than a dream. And I just had another, and it was of the same place. And then to illustrate my point, I would, be opening up my book and showing the pictures. And I apologize, but I definitely can't say the name of that I heard. Do you mind saying it for me, Spencer?
Evokelist.
Yeah, I heard that at the end, but it's like something stopping me from writing it down.
So you say that out loud, though?
Yeah.
Is there any meaning?
As the syllables fall from Willem's mouth, like the first few sprays of water from a dam breaking, they hit the placid pond of your consciousness and send ripples out from there before their ringing sort of stops in your ears from those syllables.
When that happens, Willem would kind of shake their head in confusion. But
Griff is like holding his head, like he's got a headache for a moment and reeling. That was a startling sensation.
yeah, what was that? I probably shouldn't say it again.
No, give it a try. I'm curious. Try it again.
The same
Are
thing.
you sure?
Go on. Oh,
Yeah. This? Yeah.
you can stop now. She said it's like a. How would you describe the sensation?
You are the pond, and the name is like ripples from a stone dropped onto the placid surface, rippling through you. It is a deeply unpleasant sensation.
I don't know what it is about that name, that word, but it is it's just like a punch. It's gonna be all frazzled. Must be something. It's not just a dream. I'm sure you guessed already. It's not just a dream. I think something's connecting with you, Willem.
Yeah. Yeah, since I was a small number myself, I found this book, and things have been weird. Been different.
What book? What book you talking about?
Well, this one, of course. It was all full of writing and stuff. And I had to read it. It wouldn't let me stop. But as I
This
read
one?
it, yeah, it all disappeared.
Can I have a peek?
Oh, sure.
Just a quick one. I'm not gonna hurt it none. He'll try to take it and flip through it quickly.
This is the same one that your drawings are in, correct, Willem?
Yeah.
Seems like a... So you flip through it, Glilith. Seems like a regular book. Parchment's fine quality, bound modestly. You see the drawings that Willem just showed you. Nothing stands out particularly about it.
Huh. In that knot thing. He'll hand it back. Any of your friends know anything about dreams or connections to the meaning of dreams, any of that sort of thing? I'm kind of afraid to ask them myself. They're mighty grumpy.
They are grumpy. I didn't really ask all that much. There was this one time we got in a fight, and it got a little weird, and things got a little uncomfortable, and we just don't talk about it.
Is it me? Did I do something? I mean, I was just trying to find you. And he'll like put an arm around Willem and give him like a affectionate shake and smile. I'm glad I found you, but I wasn't expecting you to be accompanied by a bunch of brutes. You know what I'm saying?
Willem would kind of like wiggle uncomfortably, like in a familiar, like family way.
Yeah, they didn't like me much at first either. They're big grumps, like you said. But then, after I gave them spicy stuff and apple pie, they seem to like me now.
Well, I mean, how could someone not like you? He says he gives Willem another like hair tossle. Like a big brother messing with his younger brother's hair.
Yeah, get your minds out of the gutter, folks.
Huh? What?
The last bit of the watch passes during this time. The group of you have completed your long rest without the comforts of a proper camp. So after long resting, you all have one level of exhaustion.
Another one, or it just doesn't go away?
One total. You can all set yourselves to 1.
I'm not used to sleeping on hard ground, even through the bedroll like that. That's rough. Oh, I've got a crick in my back.
Next time we come out here, we should probably come better prepared. I can help get you a kit set up.
I mean, might appreciate it. I'm not used to all this hard camping. I've been in the city for years. It's a little more civil around those parts, you know, not out in the crazy wood full of spooky critters or whatever.
Yeah, you said it was what port?
Oh,
Kingsport?
Amskirk? Is that what you're talking about?
Amskirk, yeah.
Armskirk?
Yeah, that. Maybe someday you'll bring me.
Oh, I would love to. You'd like it. It's, you know how Elderthorn is like kind of small and seems like everyone knows everyone? Well, Armskirk is like a proper town, right? Where you can meet people new every day and the gossip just, not everyone's got their eyes on you. The gossip's a little more, small. You can get out of the circles, go unnoticed. It's kind of nice.
What, it has to be a good 200 people there?
It's more than that.
How could... Oh, wow.
Oh, it's simple. Just got to have a place where people want to go.
That sounds... Yeah, I want to go.
See, that's exactly why people go to Armskirk, because they want to go. People stay in Elderthorn because they was born there and they just never leave.
As the rest of you come to consciousness, to the joyful alarm of the two of them discussing things. How does your day shape up?
I had
Close to-
pleasant sleeps.
Close to 11. Which is about when the sun starts to properly illuminate the lower levels of the Pinwood. Once it's gained enough altitude into the sky. So, there are patches of sunlight bathing upon the forest floor.
Aeolus, we're heading back. You sure?
as you all take stock of your surroundings, you see the corpse of Throwan Tea Dance is quite skeletal.
Oh.
Oh, I forgot about her overnight.
Isn't that the
happened?
same that happened to Pat? She was decomposing too fast. You must have
Crow,
had
you
the
weren't eating her,
same.
were you? He calls towards the raven. Maybe just a nibble. Probably should have covered it with something overnight. I'm not used to being around dead people. You know, I'm not like y'all. Seem to have
Well-
a thing about dead people.
Well, you're gonna have to get used to it if you're gonna stay around him.
Yeah, we're either finding people who are dead
Be free.
or killing people.
Does this remind you of anything?
Are you asking Siegfried?
Yeah, just kind of like a secondary confirmation.
It reminds me of the needle monster decomposing so fast. I don't know if it's the pinwood or if she wasn't really herself.
It's
Siegfried will speak on what sounds like happened to Bat.
That's true.
we have to get back. And Aeolus will look at the trail.
Mm-hmm. You see a trail of sigils going off into the woods. You following them? Well, yeah, you're in the woods, but
Arrest. When you used your bones, you got a positive feeling like we should follow.
Yes, that answers would be here. But we may have already found them. I didn't ask how long we needed to go, just whether or not we should follow this path to find answers for what's going on, what we're investigating, including your house burning down. What shape those answers are, I have no question, or I have no clue.
I leave it up to the group.
What?
This isn't something that I should make the decision on alone.
That's the question, heading back or venturing forth deeper into the woods?
Right.
I thought we were pretty set on going back. I mean,
Well,
you
then-
were pressing the matter.
Then we go back.
I'm not supposed to talk too much, but just so I understand what's going on. Why did you want to go back so bad?
The body. Just the body.
Just to bring it back?
Well, we're gonna be too late, I think, to bring the body.
Elsewise, at least what I heard after I came into port, y'all have got a bit of trouble already with bodies. Probably wouldn't have been the best idea anyhow.
I
Would
don't
you
care about
just
that.
clarify, Aeolus, what do you expect back in Elder Swan? You were questioning the mayor? Or you want to question the mayor?
I want to find answers.
I think we move on then to find answers.
Yeah, questions go this way or that way into the woods? to find answers because the mayor's not going anywhere.
Honestly, Tanin, my questions I've been asking since I arrived at Elderthorn.
You know, and I have more questions since we had the discussion with her, and I point to the floor tonight because I'm not smart enough to figure that out. What's going on?
I'm not either.
Aye. So you know what? Let's go deeper inside. I want to smash some heads in to cool off.
Seems to me that we don't know the questions we need to be asking. We're not asking the right questions.
Yes, we are asking the wrong questions.
I don't even know what questions you're all planning to ask.
Well, I don't think we have to ask any questions if Dunn's just going to smash heads. But if we are going back into the forest, should we at least bury her? So
If-
nobody else disturbs her, or
You don't think we ought to touch her? What if it's catching?
you? I can use magic to dig a hole, and maybe we can use sticks to push her in.
We're not going to use
You're brilliant.
sticks
Oh, does somebody
Full
have...
sticks.
to handle T-Dance.
What's wrong with the
And-
stick?
To the point of if we want to venture further into the Pinwood, was last night really comfortable? Or should we go back to grab our proper adventuring supplies?
When you put it that way, I'm all for going back.
Oh yeah, I promised to get Clay gear.
Is it possible to get a mount? Or anything like that? Are we allowed to have horses, rent horses, DM?
You would need to rent one from one of the farmers, or purchase one from one of the farmers. That said, a lot of them are using them to plow fields at the moment, as it is early spring.
So we're still on.
However, the boughs of the Pinwood are kind of low. It's not like there's trails that are used for trading through here, trodden to the point that someone seated upon a horse would have easy travel through this. It's
Right.
thick. Like, even
What if
you
we
at your own height are ducking under some of the limbs as you go.
So we can head back. It's not going to be easy to just pick up our stuff because we're going to have T-Dance with us, unless we want to pretend we never saw her. In which case, we can go back, get our stuff, come back, and pretend like we have no idea what's going on. I would imagine, though, that people are going to wonder where she went, and if we go back home, we're not coming back here for a while. We're going to be questioned again.
Aeolus is going to take his traveling cloak off and is going to place the remains of T-Dance within the traveling cloak.
Okay. Like,
Honestly,
hang it up like
I wanna...
Yeah.
Honestly, I wanna prevent some further questioning about another case, so I would vote for pressing on into the Pinwood.
She is a
Why don't
halfling,
you all
so she's
just-
quite small. Not more than 10 pounds. Just bones. And
Willem's got
what
a
she's wearing.
good idea, though. You know, y'all could just give a little hole to stick her in and just go on away. No need to cause no questions or trouble. You going with a corpse in your cloak's definitely going to get you fingered for something.
Aeolus is going to turn towards Aelith. His eyes golden. And he just kind of grits his teeth.
Oh, yeah, do whatever you want. That's fine too. He just looks up at the sky.
If we're going to venture into the Pinwood to find out more answers, we need to return back to gather more supplies. Perhaps along our journey we'll find something we can smash in.
That's for fun?
Smash for fun.
Sounds good. It is possible also that not all of us, we can get to the edge of the pinwood and 1 or 2 people go in to quickly gather the supplies without really attracting the attention of 6 people marching in a group. We
This
could
is
do
right.
a little subtly.
But Storm Surge also watched us venture in.
That's true. But Storm Surge isn't everywhere.
He isn't.
Who of us is the stealthiest? Considering, Aeolus, that you're going to have to buy everything new because everything got burnt to the ground.
While that, while you guys are discussing that, who is, taking the charge of trying to lead the group of you back to Alderthorn?
Aeolus would ask Hellerast for her help.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
Aeolus, make a straight survival check. Help cancel the disadvantage. Okay. As the group's standing here, Aeolus, like discussing these things, you have the remains of the petite form of tea dance bundled up. You see the sigil on the tree not too far away. You start there and you start walking in a wide circle, sort of keeping the group in sight, about 30 feet away from where that sigil is, to try to locate whatever one came previous to it. You don't see any.
So the sigils leading back into town, there are none. Only...
You see the one that's facing where the group was, and then you see the one that's further beyond that was facing as well. So, like, if you're standing in front of one, you can see the next one. But, so anyone that goes back in the direction that you came from should be on the opposite side of a tree from where the group is standing.
Right.
There is none. You do a second circle. There's no second sigil. There's the one in front of you, and the next one in order.
At this point, Aeolus just turns around and just punches one of the tree trunks.
Take 2 points of damage.
You see? The sign. We have to move further into the pinwood.
Looks like it.
Come on, Aeolus.
Aeolus growls and starts heading with the group from sigil to sigil.
Proceeds in this manner. An hour passes as the sun starts its descent once again. Another hour passes, and partway through this hour, the group of you get the smell of salt air wafting through the space. Who's the highest passive perception of the group?
Not me.
15.
I think it might be done.
I think me and
Siegfried.
Siegfried
Yeah.
is.
Not me.
So Dunnan, you spot first. Clustered near a base of one of the spruce trees, about 45 minutes into the second hour, is a few of those little pink mushrooms.
Oh, would you look at that? Those pink mushrooms again. They were quite delicious. Do you smell the sea breeze or the seawater?
You do. Another 15 minutes pass. You see more clumps of these mushrooms here and there. as you go, much more than you had previously. The last time you ventured into the Pinwood, to Gogrun on the job for Gogrun. After about 10 minutes of this pass, you can hear the sounds of the ocean. 5 more minutes and you push out of the shelter of some of the branches of the trees onto a craggy cliffside. Rocks have fallen away, the earth beneath them having eroded over countless years. Hundreds of feet below you lies the churning, deadly surf crashing against exposed stone, rocks, and boulders.
No more sigils.
None that you see.
Does Willem?
Willem recognizes the crag.
Does this resemble anything of your dreams?
I'm scared that it's the place, yes.
Could you retell the story of what transpired here in your dream?
Dream last night, yes. I woke.
Wait. You had a dream last night?
Yes.
Yeah, no one except Kulalith knew that he had a dream last night.
I just thought everybody was listening in. I'm sorry. I would pull up the information and the pictures and everything. And
No, Danen would refer to the first dream he told him.
Oh, well, the first and now the second were both at this spot. The first time there was a hooded figure, and they were on this precipice. But last night, I had another dream. I woke and it felt so real. And I looked around for everybody, and you weren't here. And I saw light, and I felt warmth from this direction. So I walked up, and there was a sea of fire. A huge, burning, living fire. And
Let's see.
And then I heard a word, one that I can't write down. It's like it doesn't let it come out. And I would say the name.
It gives like a little shudder.
You all have this similar feeling as I described it previously to Kulalith.
Ow!
And how do we spell the name for note taking?
I can't tell you. I don't know.
I'll put it in chat.
Oh, for the real. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about your character. Not bad.
Aeolus doesn't take notes.
That makes sense.
Vocalist.
Oh man, I was so close. Just kidding.
So,
who asked him Willem to describe a dream? Was that you, Dunnan?
yeah,
As
because he told Danen the first one with the baby and the cliff.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's that about this cliff? And obviously, the letters we found are in Lenda's room were the order of the sigils leading up to here.
I don't know.
Most likely, I guess.
Yeah, there's a connection, though. There truly is.
But why here? What was your name? Clay? Clay what?
Playlith? That's my name, Playlith.
Yeah, Clayleaf. Make yourself useful. You've got a raven that you can order, right?
I was just about to. I wanted to let you finish doing your talking. Don't want to get on your nerves. Crow, would you mind giving a look? Have a peek round this here cliff? And Claytith will close his eyes and view through the familiar's vision.
As Crow takes flight, soaring out to your right for a moment, catching some of the air, riding it slowly, drifting in like a lazy wide circle out above the cliffside, 100 feet. You turn your head whilst within Crow's consciousness, and you see along the cliffside, cleverly disguised, a small trail with iron rings set into it, such that rope might be able to be strung between them, leading to the mouth of a cave about 30 feet down the cliffside.
There's a trail there. Heading down, it's a cave. I see a cave, and there's rings, like for putting rope through, I guess for climbing down.
Oh boy. I hope nobody is
And then
afraid
on
of
the
heights.
left side, there's a definitely a cave there. He's just like interrupting because he can't hear you.
Alright. Seems like we're climbing down a cliffside. Oh boy. By Moradin's balls.
And on Moradin's balls, we'll pick up there next session.
We're gonna pick up on Moradin's balls.
Yeah.
Well,